Welcome to the Short Horror Beercast, boss. I'm Paul.
And I'm Alec.
That's my Long Island Italian ape man voice.
I forgot about the Long Island part.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Call everybody boss. Hey, boss. Hey, boss. It's more like that. It's more like because you gotta get it like what's his name? James Gandolfini. Thing go in your sinuses and say, hey, boss.
Sure.
Yeah, you say, hey, boss.
Yep. Except he called no one boss.
Right, of course. So this is the Short Horror Beercast. We pair beers with the short stories that we cover and vice versa. I realized it doesn't go just one way. We pair them both.
It's true.
Yes, we work very hard at that. So today we're covering the events at Poroth Farm, an absolute masterpiece by T.E.D. Klein. What were you able to pair with that wonderful story?
Well, Shorts Brewing came through huge.
Oh, good. After
I shit on them for episodes and episodes, I came across a triple dry hopped India Pale Ale.
Oh, nice.
That is, I think it's 7.6 ABV.
Okay.
And it's called Psychedelic Catgrass.
That is perfect.
Right? That wasn't bad. That was pretty good.
Not bad at all.
And in all, transparency, I guess, Jen went with me. She goes, I'm curious how you do this. I want to see how you pick these beers out. And,
yeah.
How many places do you go? We went to one place and she goes, what about this? And she finds it instantly.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Like, oh, shit. That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Look at that.
That's great.
So this was all Jen's doing.
That's awesome. Kudos. Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with that. And it's delicious in the bargain.
To boot. It's delicious.
Yep. How about you? How'd you do?
Okay. This is Finback Brewery. Okay. They're
Finback?
Fin as in shark fin.
As in fin.
Yes. Finback. They are a brewery out of Queens, New York. And they have a beer called Cats Are People Too.
Oh. And that's pretty great.
It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty spot on, dude.
Yes.
Damn it.
No. Yours is great.
Mine's now okay. Yours is great.
All right. Well, Tiger, that catgrass could have been responsible for some of this stuff that's going on here. I don't know what the ABV is, but it's a double IPA. Double IPA with, it's 9%.
Whoa.
Yeah. With Citra, Nelson, Mosaic, and Belma hops.
Easy, boy.
Yeah.
Down.
Heel.
That right. ABV is like, whoa.
Yeah, it's out of control. That hop list, man, I only know Citra and Mosaic. I don't know any of those other hops. I used to be pretty good. I used to brew beer.
Right.
And I still do, but I used to, too. That's a little nod to Mitch Hedberg.
That's good.
Yeah, but... No, but it's as Monty Python would say, it's just resting. The hobby is just resting. I will revive it one day, but
good.
Right now I still have all the equipment. It's all,
What's the best beer you made? What was it?
I don't know if I made any really good. I did a stout.
Are you being humble or are you serious?
I don't know. Maybe I'm being humble, but I made a stout, like a cream stout, a milk stout.
Okay.
One year. And I wound up just keeping a bottle just in the closet for a long time. So it was like dry and cool for a really long time. I think it was like for 2 or 3 months. And I cracked it open literally the day before my wedding. We had some and it was really good. I was very surprised how good it was. It wasn't that good when I first made it. So the stuff needs to age a little bit sometimes.
Right.
And stouts are like, remember I said that thing about brewers throwing hops in to cover up their mistakes? Stouts are definitely like that. Stouts are like, they're so roasty and intense that you can do whatever. And all that roastiness and intenseness will cover it up. So whatever you fuck up will be covered up if you're brewing a stout. They're hard to fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. You can throw in all the goods.
Yeah. And I prefer the English stuff, the closet Anglophile that I am. So I was using all the English hops in there.
Sure.
Fuggles hops.
Fuggles? Whoa.
Yep. And East Kent Goldings. That was the other one.
Those sound good.
Yeah. So they were great.
Fuggles, though.
Fuggles. And almost every, like...
That sounds like a Jim Henson creation.
It does. Fuggles.
The Fuggles.
It's the Fuggles. They're like the band that plays in Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, the Fuggles.
So like the Fraggle Rock house band is called the Fuggles.
It's like the closest the Fraggle Rock dudes could come to swearing is Fuggles.
Fuggles.
That's stupid. I'm an idiot.
That's fucking hilarious, actually. So what was I going to say? So anyway, yeah, a lot of English styles actually have those two hops in them, Fuggles and East Kent Goldings. They have them. It's a little
East
fun
Kent
fact.
Goldings. I like
Kent
that.
Goldings. Yeah, it's a cool one. So
that's cool, dude.
Fuggles and Goldings.
Get back on it. Make some beer.
I definitely want to. It's one of those things that I keep saying, I got to get back into it because I'm missing it. I do miss it.
Yeah.
It's one of the things where it's so, like, there's so many things that can go wrong in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to use, like, smell and taste to figure out what went wrong. So you're like, all right, I'm smelling sort of like, or I'm tasting like a cardboardy taste almost.
Uh-huh.
So what accounts for that? Oh, okay, that's not whatever, doing this, not cooling fast enough or whatever, or not keeping it at this temperature for long enough or whatever. And then it's like, so the next time I got to control for that. But in the meantime, something else is going wrong.
Right.
So, and then you're like, oh, so it's an endless pursuit to correct the last mistake that you made. It's really what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never tried it. I've never done it. My brother did it, but he made like, it might as well have been a Budweiser. It's what he wanted.
Okay. All right. That's cool. No, that's fine. And it was probably better than the Budweiser you would get.
It was
at the
a
store.
long time ago. I think I was 19 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's nothing you'd like want to really give to anybody. I've given them to people, but it's nothing like you're like terribly proud of, but it's just fun to do it, to say that you've done it and you have it. You're like, hey, I made this. It's amazing. I grew this thing. It's almost like growing plants. You're like, hey, I kind of grew this.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you have a little patch of garden where you could start growing hops and stuff?
Oh, I'd love to do that. No, but because they grow really tall, you need like, what do you call it? Trestles?
Trellis.
Trestles.
Yeah,
Trellises. Yes, thank you. Trellises.
A big lattice wall.
Yes, you need that for hops. That I do not have and probably won't. And malting too, like malting barley is like a huge process too. You don't want to malt your own barley unless you have tons and tons of resources.
That sounded like old man wisdom.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to malt your own barley, son.
No, so anyway,
be careful.
That's right.
It's a big world out there. Don't malt your own barley.
One piece of advice I can give you: never malt your own barley. Anyway.
All right, I fully expect a pint when I get out there of your own brew.
You got it.
So you know.
You got it. So right. I'll even take requests. How about
that? Sure.
In the meantime, I would like to bid you cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Smooth, not too sweet, not too bitter, and it's a real McCoy. Not sterilized into deadness, but still alive, though more than willing to go down the hatch without a struggle. But you need something else, first of all, something every wise man should cultivate, the perfect thirst. Cheerio.
So let's talk about T.E.D. Klein and the publishing of Poroth Farm.
Okay, hold on. Can I just call him Ted Klein? I really want to.
I would love to. I think he prefers T.E.D. It's like his little joke on the world.
Is his name really Ted?
He was born Theodore Donald Klein. So, and of course,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, he was called Ted. Now, he adopted the name Eibon, E-I-B-O-N, so that his initials would spell out Ted.
Got it.
Eventually, he adopted Eibon. And that name is a reference to a character created by the great Clark Ashton Smith, who was a contemporary of Lovecraft. Wrote some wonderful stories.
Oh.
We should cover a Clark Ashton Smith story. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
And
lead the way, Captain.
Okay, so T.E.D. Klein was born on July 15th, 1947. Does that date ring a bell to you? Aside from the fact that it's like not even a week ago as we're recording this.
July 15th.
St. Swithin's Day. And in the story, it's actually our main character's birthday. So he used his own birthday for our main character. He was born in New York City, where he lives to this day. He's got a surprisingly thin bibliography in all his years of writing. It's a 50-year career, and he hasn't produced nearly as much as some of these other authors as we've covered, And he himself has attributed this to writer's block. I have strong feelings about writer's block. I sympathize with people who suffer from it, including myself, but I don't think it's anything cosmic or anything like that that's going on. I think there's underlying psychological things that are going on that you're not paying attention to if you have writer's block. I don't mean anything that can land you in a hospital. I just mean things that, are on your mind, or things that maybe you need to put in place. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that stuff. A number of writers have suffered from writer's block, notably Theodore Sturgeon. He had years worth of writer's block. That he created all sorts of hacks to get around. Ray Bradbury says there's no such thing. He says that was a terrible Ray Bradbury, actually, and by my standards. Ray would say there's no such thing as writer's block, huh? He says your unconscious doesn't want to play with you.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, he says if you have writer's block, you can cure it right now by going to do something else. Put whatever you're writing down and write something else, huh? So,
okay.
Yeah. Well, and he's right about that. He's there is that's hinting at what's going on in your brain when you have writer's block. You just don't want to write the thing you're writing, and the way around it is to actually motivate yourself to do it by filling in the little gaps in your motivational scheme. If it's saying if actually having written a thing isn't motivation enough, you got to create little, hack your brain into creating little rewards along the way of writing this thing. Make it fun in some way, or like we talked about, having a place for your art. Say, I'm going to go to this place where I create art, so when I walk into it, I know that I am the artist now, and when I leave, I'm no longer that artist. I don't have to create anything now. You can hack your brain definitely in different ways, but I can sympathize with this. I do suffer from the same condition from time to time. I know exactly what causes it, and I do nothing about it except not write. But every once in a while I do break through. So, but just like T.E.D. Klein, yes, I'm comparing myself to him.
Go ahead.
So just like him, he every once in a while he broke through, and he was able to produce some really good stuff. So despite, though, this rather limited output of fiction, he's played a pretty important role in the field. He's one of the founders of the World Fantasy Convention, which is a pretty big convention honoring the best writers, both past and present.
Yeah. He
was the founding editor of Twilight Zone magazine and served in that role for 5 years. I think that's the one that published The River Styx Runs Upstream, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I could be wrong, but we'll get to that story, of course. He served as an early promoter of our good friend Ramsey Campbell.
Nice.
Yeah. So the events of Poroth Farm was his first published story, too. Okay, the motherfucker
really?
was 20. Yeah, he was 24 when he wrote it. Son of a bitch.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It was a great story, and he was 24. It was published in December of 1972 in From Beyond the Dark Gateway. This was a tiny little fanzine, had a print run of about 200 copies. It is astounding to me that this story was responsible for garnering Klein enough attention to propel him into serious literary circles. The fact that he published this thing in this tiny little magazine, this little rag, and he was able to get enough attention around it, because a lot of people were like, oh my God, we got to pay attention to this guy. This is a great story. So, and incidentally, later on, he expanded this story into a novel titled The Ceremonies, and that was published in 1984. I have not read it myself. I heard it's really good. So that's it. So there you have it. That's T.E.D. Klein for you in a nutshell.
Cool.
Let's get into it. We open with a setup for a story that is going to be primarily told through journal entries. It's known as the epistolary format. It's an epistolary novella, if you will. I love that format. I love journal entries and letters and stuff like that. It's just so cool to me. You feel like you're stumbling upon a cache of documents and you're discovering the story along the way. It's really cool.
It is cool.
Dracula was written that way. Stephen King wrote Jerusalem's Lot.
I've never heard that term.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with the style, but never heard that word.
I like to say epistle with a lateral lisp. Epistle.
That works.
The epistles of St. Paul. So anyway.
Gene Shalit for Buffalo.
Have you ever had a headache so bad the slightest little sound can push you on edge?
So we open the story with a first-person statement by our narrator. He's holed up in a hot hotel room in Flemington, New Jersey. He's trying to write an affidavit, some kind of important testament. The phone rings, and he waits it out. It rings 13 times. He counts it, and he says, it has a sense of humor. So 13 times it rings, and then it stops, and he says, it has a sense of humor. Now, what is he talking about? Well, we're going to find out soon
We're left going, what does?
Yeah, it, eh? So it's hot as hell in this hotel room, but he keeps the windows closed. He looks out at the street, and he sees a boy wearing red spectacles. He says this kid comes by every day, sits on the courthouse steps across from the hotel. He can't exactly see what the kid is staring at, but he knows he's staring at him. So back to the sense of humor of this thing, he says that's the one quality he never saw in it. He says he only saw, quote, a deadly seriousness, and it's clear, an intelligence that grew at terrifying speed, malevolent and inhuman, end quote. Okay. That's a nice little enticement to keep reading, right?
Yep.
So then he introduces himself by telling us that his name is Jeremy, after the prophet Jeremiah. He says he hopes he's not a prophet, just a harmless crank, because he's got a lot to prophesize about. And then he says, but I believe we're in for trouble. And he now tells us that he's been holed up here in this hotel for several days, and he's afraid to leave. But he's not going to stay for long. He's got a stack of notes to transcribe, and as soon as he's done, he's going to sneak out and mail them and then flee New Jersey forever. So he says he's just giving us the background, the whole setup for the story. He says he needed a place to spend the summer, a place we could do a great deal of reading without any distraction, because he was going to teach a course on literature. So he found Poroth Farm in a newspaper advertisement stating that Tsar Poroth, this is S-A-R-R, this is the man, Tsar Poroth and his wife Deborah were looking for a tenant to rent a building on their property. And he goes into describing the building. It looks like an old abandoned army barracks, basically a giant piece of, giant place of gray bricks and cinder blocks. He says it was originally intended to house chickens. Then the Poroths got the idea to spruce it up a bit with linoleum floors and a couple of dividing walls, and they decided to rent it out. And now he's describing the Poroths. He says the Poroths are a younger couple. I think they were in their 30s, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Their early 30s. But you'd never know it. He says their hairstyles and their manner of dress make them look much older. Sarah's got one of those Amish beards. And Deborah wears her hair in a bun so tight, he says it looks almost painful. By the way, in my notes here, I wrote Amish bears instead of beards. Sarah's got one of those Amish bears.
I knew it was beards.
Okay.
I read beards. I didn't even see bears.
Amish bears don't use cell phones. That's how you can tell.
True.
An Amish
they make
bear
furniture left and right.
That's right. And they sell honey at their fair.
Yep.
All right. That's enough of that. So where was I? All right. So he describes both husband and wife as pale, even though they work in the sun all day. This paleness accentuates the blackness of their hair. He speculates that maybe this has to do with the inbreeding that has gone on in the area. The Poroths, as a matter of fact, were third cousins. He says they could probably even pass for brother and sister. He calls them, quote, two gravely devout children aged in the wilderness, end quote.
Man,
I love that.
That is good.
That's one of those things that I say, like, when you're writing and describing people, don't use the police description.
Yeah.
If you say to yourself, I would never say to a policeman, they looked like two gravely devout children aged in the wilderness, then it's good. Then you can put it in your story.
You can keep it, yeah.
Right. So he says the Poroths belong to a Mennonite sect somewhat related to the Amish, although some significant doctrinal differences separated the two. At any rate, it was this sect that made up the majority of the community known as Gilead. I know from Edgar Allan Poe, in The Raven, he quotes something that Jeremy quotes later, is there no balm in Gilead? That's out of the Bible. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician? He quotes that later on in the story.
That's a place in The Gunslinger as well. Isn't that his name? Roland of...
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Shit, man, you're taxing my memory here.
It's been too long. I could be way off on that.
No, yeah, you might be right.
I don't think I am. I think it's something else, Roland of
okay.
something else, but it made me think that's in there somehow.
Okay, all right. It could very well
be.
be.
It's been too long. I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So he discusses the topography of New Jersey for a bit. He describes the mass of land that extends from the Delaware River on westward, and how in those areas, New Jersey contains what he calls pockets of ignorance, which are basically hidden hamlets that are cut off from modern civilizations and that still cling to ancient religious beliefs and customs and so forth. He says one should consider how easily the traffic on the main highway can just move right along and pass these turnoffs onto local roads.
Yeah.
This is really cool. These hidden areas are really cool to hint at those. And so he says in some of these areas, television might be forbidden. They don't even have that to connect them with the outside world. Telephones, however, do put these people in touch with their neighbors, assuming they want to talk to their neighbors. Okay, so he's describing little pockets that are almost completely cut off from each other. Mm-hmm. Just to think about how many of those there could be, and you're driving past them and you don't even realize it, Yeah. So he said he once thought of New Jersey as, quote, some dismal extension of the Newark slums ruled by gangsters, foggy with swamp gases and industrial waste, a gray land that had surrendered to the city, end quote. I have to admit, I think of New Jersey as that, 100%. Oh, yeah. Were you there? Yeah.
I'm right here. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have to admit something. I was Googling where Roland was from.
Oh.
I'm such a dick.
No, it's okay.
But it's Gilead. Yeah, I was right. Or Gilead or Gilead or however you say it. It's probably Gilead. We'll say Gilead.
Okay.
It was bugging me. I had to know. I was going to bring it up later, but you busted me, so I had to.
Okay.
So I'm back with you.
You're
back.
like Wisconsin. I caught you.
I'm Wisconsin today. I'm totally Wisconsin. I'm like, no, I'm going to look it up.
Caught you in the crapper with your pants up.
That's where I hang.
All right.
Oh, my God.
No, it's okay. No, so.
What were you saying? What an asshole.
No.
Asshole co-host.
That's funny.
Sorry, what?
I have to break for a second. So last night, in a fit of ignorance, I should say, I decided that we should watch the new Salem's Lot.
And
boy, did it suck eggs, man. Mm-hmm. So I was, we start, and like not even halfway through, but I'm such an asshole, and she got kind of pissed off at me for doing this because I start shouting things at the TV and start adding dialogue that the characters aren't really saying. Yeah. So every time two characters would be talking to each other, I'd do in one of their voices, I'd be like, and I'm sorry, who are you again? Because that's what it seemed like. It seemed like these people, that's how they were acting. They were acting as if they didn't know each other, even though by the script they were supposed to know each other for years. But you could swear they had zero chemistry,
Yeah.
Every actor had zero chemistry. Yeah, right.
That's a little bit like sometimes Jen doesn't love it, but I do. I like if the movie sucks, just turn the audio off and make your own.
Yes, of course.
Just make them say just the shit that you think they should be saying.
Stupid as crap. Yeah.
Fucking with it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, where I was.
I'm back with you, bro. I'm right here with you.
No, it's okay. You're all good. So he said he once thought of New Jersey as, quote, some dismal extension of the Newark slums, ruled by gangsters, foggy with swamp gases and industrial waste, a gray land that had surrendered to the city.
Nice.
And, I think of New Jersey that way, I was saying.
Okay, I got you.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagool. Then I woke up the next day and got some gabagool.
So he says it's in these areas, these little pockets, these little hamlets that are hidden and stuff like that. It's in these areas where you not only find people clinging to unchanged religious beliefs, but even some religions thought to have long died out.
Yeah.
And it was in just one of these places that he found himself in for 3 months. And that is until the tragedies occurred. And of course, this was the town of Gilead. So Jeremy reminds us of the fictional trope of small towns, that they'll look at the stranger sideways and keep him at arm's length. He says that's actually a myth. Folks in small towns, he says, are all too eager to share the town gossip and folklore with strangers. He says, provided the stranger shows a real interest in the stories, which I thought that was cool. That's a neat little take on it.
I like that idea. I don't find it to be true.
I don't either.
I think it's maybe a 70-30 ratio of 30% being friendly.
Yeah, okay.
And then 70, like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you.
Well, I found this in small towns that it's they'll keep you at arm's length for sure. And they'll be nice to you. They'll be cordial and nice and polite, but they won't, consider you one of their own. Not at all.
Yeah.
Just
weird.
Again, they're nice though. It's not that
they're nice.
But let's list those small towns so we can really piss people off. Let's list all of them. These assholes.
Oh, man, I hate those Shelbyville jerks.
Honey, I was born in Shelbyville.
And it tears me up inside.
Folks in and around Poroth Farm will be more than willing to talk about the events at Poroth Farm.
They will tell you of bad crops and polluted well water, of emotional depression leading to a fatal argument. In short, they will describe a conventional rural murder and will even volunteer their opinions on the killer's present whereabouts.
That's a wonderful little thing to keep you reading.
It is.
What the hell happened here?
Right.
So he says, then, when you hear that, you'll learn nothing that is true. Because they don't know what really happened. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what happened, and I was there. Okay? Yeah. And so the narration proper begins at this point. He begins by describing the Poroths a bit more. The couple was considered liberal by Gilead standards. Both were college educated. They were newcomers to farming, and that showed. Most of the land was neglected. 90 acres they had, and most of it was forest or weeds, plus, quote, a small, nameless stream nearly choked with green scum, end quote. Boy, do I love that description. Choked with green scum.
Yeah.
They owned a TV, but no phone. They scandalized neighbors by advertising publicly in this newspaper for a tenant. So they are sort of modern in this traditionally strict community. Plus, they had 7 cats.
Hey.
Yeah, I wonder if they figure prominently in the story, being that we both chose cat-themed beers. 7 cats, man.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He describes the Poroths on a personal level. He says, Sar, the man, was moody, distant, silent most of the time, with a voice so low that one had trouble following him in conversation. Sitting stonily as one of his cats, barely moving, seldom speaking, remote and inscrutable, he tended to frighten visitors to the farm until they learned that he was not really sitting in judgment on them. His reserve was not born of surliness, but of shyness. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful description of a character. No, everything you need to know about Sar Poroth from that description. It's wonderful. So then he says, while Sar was cat-like, his wife Deborah was more like a kitten. And yet it didn't seem like one was dominant over the other. He says he saw them quarrel only once. As luck would have it, Jeremy kept a journal during his stay at Poroth Farm. I hinted at this earlier. He kept this journal in preparation for a course on Gothic literature that he was going to teach. He brought all these books with him. And so he says from here on, the best way to tell the story is to just present the journal entries. And so there we are. We begin on June 4th. He spends his first day setting up his books and killing spiders. Basically, he says the place is infested with spiders.
It's great.
Yeah. I would leave. I'd leave that. I would see that the first day. I'd be like, I'm out of here. Bye.
Spiders bug you?
I hate them like nothing else. I
hate them. Well, I have to tell you, if you ever come to visit up north, you're not going to like it.
Well, you told me, I think, about these fishing spiders, right?
Dark fishing spiders, they're called, yeah.
Yeah, which just sounds
They're
horrific.
fucked. They're huge.
Yep.
They're not very dangerous, but you see them and you run away.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
There's all kinds of spiders up there, and there's lots of them, so I think you'd be pretty bummed out. And especially if you're facing the lakeside.
Yeah.
Like our cabin faces Lake Huron, and everything that faces the lakeside is way more spidery than the opposite side. It's really weird.
Ugh.
Yeah. Like webs, like huge webs.
Yeah,
like you have to, when you first come up, it's like a horror show. You have to take a huge broom, wipe all that shit down, and then you're good for the rest of the trip. But when you leave, they crawl out of their little holes and look around and start making those webs again.
They got like little tool belts on,
They're like, they're gone. Let's roll.
What's weird is I used to love them when I was younger. Something happened between when I was a kid and now that I just fucking hate them now. But like I remember doing like book reports about spiders and drawing like tracing pictures of them and stuff like that. Now I just send them right back to hell where they belong.
I send them back to hell. That's where they came from.
That's where they came from.
That's where I'm sending them.
Exactly.
That's funny.
You little bastards. And you know what? It's like they say you shouldn't kill spiders because they eat all the bad insects. Well, guess what? I kill as many insects as that spider would have dined on in his life. So I don't care. I have thumbs. He doesn't.
I kind of leave them alone. They don't.
No.
I don't know. I mean, because you got to cohabitate up there. They're just there.
I guess, but listen, my ancestors ushered in the Renaissance. What the fuck did his ancestors do? Nothing. That little fucking spider. I got 8 legs. You didn't do anything with any one of those 8 legs. Don't give me that crap. I got 2 hands with thumbs on them.
You're a fucking slacker, and I'm sending you straight to hell.
Squash.
That's funny.
I don't care if you build fractals with your ass,
He's like, yeah, but can you make a web like this? No, and it doesn't matter. Fuck you and your web.
Squash.
Squish. You're gone.
You're gone. You're done, bud.
Your money's on the dresser. I'm done with you.
Right.
I forget who that was. Somebody doing a Frank impression. I think it was it was from Saturday Night Live. What's his name?
Oh,
passed away.
Oh,
he was killed. You know who I mean?
Hartman.
Phil Hartman. He's like, "What's your name, honey?" This girl goes, "Oh, it's Bethany." He goes, "Yeah, I'm never gonna remember that. From now on, you're pickles. Your money's on the dresser. I'm done with you."
That's great.
You don't scare me. I got chunks of guys like you in my stool.
I'm sorry. I triggered myself with the spider talk there for a second.
Oh, my God. We're doomed to just have diversions.
Yes,
we're just
absolutely.
Gonna do it.
Absolutely. I didn't even mention this is part 1. We're not doing
that's
part
right,
2 today. Yeah, this is only part 1. He's infested with spiders. Now, he has supper with the Poroths that night, and while Deborah is very animated in conversation, Sar just kind of stares at him. Deborah mentions that all 7 of her cats are like her children. Cats are people too. That's what my beer says. And indeed, all 7 cats are just hanging around and rubbing against his ankles during the meal. He takes a break, and now he's writing this journal, so he takes a break from writing to go and pee outside. He says he doesn't like pissing in the dark. He says, God knows what's crawling up your ankles.
Jeez.
I'm sure you've been in that situation. I mean, I've been camping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you go out to pee, and you're like, I don't know where the stream is going. I don't know what's happening around me right now. Who's watching me? It is so weird to do that in the pitch dark. You just can't see anything. It's amazing.
Well, anything in the pitch dark is weird. I guess peeing is kind of strange, but you aim forward and you go, and that's the end of that. But
I guess
it's to me, it's more like, oh, I forgot I left something out there. I'm gonna have to go find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's worse than taking a pee in the dark for me.
Be like, I left a Snickers bar out there, or something like that. I left my ham sandwich out there. Let me go.
Oh my God, I was about to say ham sandwich. That's fucked up. That's crazy, dude.
That's funny.
But the dark is scary at all times.
So he goes and pees in the dark, and when he comes back, he says, "Felt vulnerable." Well, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. He says the real creepy thing though is that he got a glimpse of his living quarters while he was out there. it's pitch black outside, and his room is the only light for like miles.
Yeah.
So he could see all sorts of flying things making their way toward that window.
See, that's pretty crazy to say it that way, to making their way toward it.
Yes.
As opposed to seeing like fluttering, just
flying
a
around.
barrage of shit flying around the window.
Yeah.
There's
like,
stuff en route to the window.
Yes, absolutely.
Light. That's crazy.
So he says living inside there is like living inside a display case. So, he says the whole night can see you, but all you can see is darkness. I love that.
Yeah, that's a real thing, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You're in a fishbowl. I've been in that situation. It feels crazy.
I haven't been camping too often, but the few times I have been, you just know that like the light that you have, whatever it is, a little light, a little lantern or something, whatever it is, that's the only light around. You just know, and you know it. Everything outside can look at you. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's stuff out there you can't see it, but you know it's watching.
Yeah, right. And you might be pissing in its face. You have no idea. One of those Amish bears.
Yeah,
they're very peaceful though, thank God. So
yeah.
So anyway, so he's about ready to turn in. He tells us that the cats gave him a pretty bad allergy. He's sniffing and his eyes are tearing up and everything. He's going to need some antihistamine, sure, soon enough. He says the place is pretty well insulated against the flying things because a few gnats are the only things that got in. And so he closes this journal entry with, quote, an unpleasantly large spider, quote, unquote, scurrying across the floor and disappearing beneath a footlocker. I wouldn't be able to spend the rest of the night until that thing was dead, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd move that fucker. I'd move the footlocker.
And did he have family? Are there others?
Exactly. I'm looking for the guy that killed my pa.
I saw that. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Right, exactly. Okay, the next entry is June 11th. He's reading quite a bit. Oh, I have to say this. Now, there's a thing with this story.
Mm-hmm.
Klein is pretty fucking genius in tying in what Jeremy is reading to what's actually going on around him. It's uncanny the way he does it. And I'm like, this is my guy. This guy just pulling out literary allusions like crazy. So like he reads The White People by Arthur Machen, Irish writers, big influence on Lovecraft. And this concerns a girl encountering malevolent cosmic forces in nature. Okay, mm-hmm. And as we'll see in this story, that's kind of what happens here. He's encountering malevolent cosmic forces in nature at this farm.
Yeah.
And so he does this all through the story. Every time he mentions a book or a story that he's reading, it loosely ties in with what he's actually experiencing on the farm.
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
Oh, it's so cool the way he does it.
I feel like I've read another author who's done this.
Dan Simmons sort of does that a little bit here and there. And in The Terror, he does it kind of explicitly. I don't know if you recall, they stage.
Yeah, the carnival.
Yeah, their own little carnival with like mirroring Edgar Allan Poe's.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? The Mask of the Red Death, and so the events that take place thereon in the story actually mirror the events of Mask of the Red Death. It's pretty cool the way he does that too. One
thing I want to say to anyone listening to this.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, to all the masses listening.
Right. Yeah. Right.
If we weren't covering these short stories.
Yeah.
I would have insisted, and not like you'd give any pushback on it, but that we covered the fucking Terror.
Yeah.
That is the finest piece of not only suspense, horror, whatever, but just it put me in a place like no other book has ever done.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, it was the first Dan Simmons book I'd ever read.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready. I had no idea. I mean, the blurbs were great. You know, Stephen King's blurb of I am in awe of Dan Simmons that sells the books.
Yes, right.
I was like, okay, well, that seals it. I'm going to read this. And I didn't understand how good he was. I had no idea. That's a fucking outstanding book.
It really is. Yeah, and it's...
everyone I've made read it has come back and said, holy shit.
Yeah.
That was outstanding.
And talk about evocative, man. You feel everything those characters are going through.
Oh, my God, that cold. My God. I was in Los Angeles when I first read it. It was 2007 or 8. And he wrote it in 2007.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I was fucking cold. It was, 95 degrees outside. Right. The windows are open, whatever, and I was freezing reading that. I was like, this is mad. I can't believe what I'm reading.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So good. That's all I'm trying to say to people who don't understand. It's a fucking great book.
We would need 10 episodes to cover that one, too.
Exactly.
Wait, we
the
go.
not so short horror beer cast.
Right. The long horror beer cast. Anyway.
Sorry, just had to mention
that's
that.
okay.
For the folks out there, if you want to get into it, man, it's a great fucking book.
That's a great one. Absolutely. I agree. No pushback here. For sure.
Okay.
Among you is probably the best writer of us all in the room. A writer named Dan Simmons. Where are you, Dan?
So he's reading stories and novels and stuff like that, and they mirror what's going on around him or foreshadow what's going around him. So he starts with The White People by Arthur Machen. Just before dinner, he's making his way to the farmhouse when he's seized by a sudden impulse. He climbs a tree. He stands on a branch in the night, and he begins making these weird gestures and faces. Okay, his behavior is, the only word I can come up with is propitiatory. Okay, that worshiping, like primal worshiping. He's worshiping nature, or he's
appeasing.
Appeasing. That's a great word. Yes, exactly. Whatever forces are out there, whatever deities might be floating around, he's paying obeisance to them.
Now, this to me is fucking bizarre and out of left field.
Yes.
This paragraph.
Yeah.
It's the first time I went, whoa, what just happened? Everything else was a setup. We're building up. Okay, cool. They have 7 cats. Cool. They're Amish. Okay. Now he climbs up a tree and begins making weird gestures and faces.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
And what's cool is that it's very normal the way he describes it. It's not like it's weird. He goes, I just felt like doing this. I was in the mood to do it.
That threw me.
I was feeling a little silly.
Because I almost glossed over it. I was reading it like, it's common. And I'm like, wait, what did I just read? Hold on.
Right.
And I was like, that's fucking crazy. What's he doing? What the fuck is he doing in that tree? It's crazy. Yeah. And then to find out is even crazier.
It's even crazier. So he's doing this weird primal behavior in the trees. And then after that, he goes to have dinner with the Poroths, and they talk about their cats. Okay, that's like the usual conversation. They talk about their cats. It's like having dinner at my house, for sure. So he reads, after dinner, he reads Ancient Sorceries by Algernon Blackwood. It's a story about inhabitants of a town that turn themselves into cats in order to participate in satanic rituals. That's what that story's about. And so he's put in mind of those cats. He's interesting.
Okay, so the truth is, this is a true Algernon Blackwood story.
Yes.
That's so cool how he's doing this.
Yeah, it really is. It's amazing.
That's great.
So he discusses the cat's many names. This tickled me because I'm sure you do this too with your dog. You probably have like 1 million names that you call her.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. They have like 1,000 nicknames.
Of course.
So he says, like, the only cat that doesn't have a multitude of names is Bowada. Bowada is this older gray cat. She's the oldest and meanest of them all. She's a biter, so you don't really go near Bowada. The Poroths suspect that it's because she was spayed and that she has such a nasty disposition.
That should be the opposite.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They should chill out a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
We had a cat like that. Callie, who was like that. She was just nasty.
Vicious.
Yeah, I called her a catist because she loved cats. She loved other cats. She hated humans. So she was a catist.
Oh, okay.
A speciesist. So he's in the middle of writing. Again, he's interrupted. Something odd happens. He breaks off writing. He says, all of a sudden, the crickets, which have been a soothing sound all along, all stopped at once. They just skipped a beat, and then they started back up again. Mm-hmm. And for a few moments, it's like they were out of sync with each other. They were out of rhythm.
Yeah. We talked about that before, too. The understood din of the woods that you're accustomed to. And once something disrupts that, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. So I love that touch. That's a great touch. Like
really
all of a sudden,
good, yeah.
Crickets just stop. And
it's an unnerving thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And when they start back up, they're like out of sync with each other. So,
yeah, like something big out there just moved.
Yeah.
That's what I think every time.
Yeah, right. Okay, I can see that. Sure. He ends the night with The Castle of Otranto. This is by Horace Walpole. And this is regarded as the first Gothic novel.
Okay.
I started reading this some time ago and couldn't get through it. It's just boring. I guess it's just not for our times. You know, it didn't age well. Probably back in the day, it was probably pretty hardcore, but doesn't really cut any mustard today.
Yeah.
So the next diary entry we have is June 12th. It's the very next day. He takes a walk on the field and then along the brook, which opens up into a little pool. He sees a lot of tracks and figures it's probably a watering hole. He goes back home. He starts another book, The Monk by Matthew Gregory Lewis. This one's usually mentioned alongside Castle of Otranto for being the first Gothic novels.
Okay.
He has dinner with the Poroths, who give him wine, and then they play poker for matchsticks. They tell him it's technically forbidden, so they'll have to pray extra hard tonight. There's a huge grandfather clock, and he says you can hear it ticking all over the house. And Deborah tells him that the previous night, the night of the crickets, it seemed to slow down a little, and then it sped up and settled back into its normal rhythm. Sar looked at it. He's pretty good with mechanical stuff, she says, but he couldn't find anything wrong with it.
That instantly put me in the Exorcist. When they were still in Iraq, and he's talking to that the guy poring over all the maps and artifacts and stuff, and the clock behind them stops for a moment.
Oh, I don't remember that. Isn't that weird? How many times have I seen that fucking movie? I don't even remember.
Swinging pendulum underneath.
Okay.
And it just stops.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't remember what the time was. I should remember that for this story, but I don't remember what time it was. But when he said something in particular, the clock stopped.
Okay. That's cool.
He just kind of looked at it, and that was the end of it.
Okay.
It was just really weird. So
Yeah. Oh, no, that's great. That's great. I know. Just like I said, I don't remember that at all, but it's not saying much.
It's near the beginning.
Okay. The next day's entry is June 13th. All this loneliness and isolation just kind of blurs the calendar. He didn't realize it was Friday the 13th. So at dinner, he and the Poroths try to figure out if anything unlucky happened to any of them today.
Yeah.
The only incident they come up with is something that happened to Sar. He said he came upon the usual assortment of dead animal gifts that the cats bring to them. And as usual, he began disposing of them by lifting them up by the tails and just tossing them into the trash. But there was one that looked a little different than all the rest. It looked like a large shrew, only its mouth was askew, nearly vertical instead of horizontal. He figured one of the cats probably mauled it pretty bad to make it look like that.
Yeah.
At any rate, when he went to pick it up, it bit him on the thumb. It wasn't dead after all. He said it was only playing dead. He says, thankfully, the bite wasn't enough to pierce the skin. Nevertheless, the thing went scurrying off into the grass, and that was that.
Mm-hmm.
After that, Jeremy goes to bed that night listening to the millions of insects and frogs outside, and he begins to speculate just what could be out there. And then he hears a sound that he can't quite place. It's at that moment that he decides he's probably better off with the light out, so he goes to sleep. I love this idea of just ramping up the weird stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
It starts with one thing, then he just adds on this, adds on that, adds
Getting
on. It's really
weirder and weirder. Yeah.
I love that stuff. Next entry is June 15th. This journal entry begins with, quote, something really weird happened today, end quote. His day started off relatively normal. The Poroths were at church, so Jeremy and the cats had the farm all to themselves. During the day, he says he sees Bawada and Phaedra is the other cat chasing something, but he can't quite make out what it is. He says it's usually grasshoppers that they chase. At any rate, he starts reading Dracula, but he loses interest after the opening Jonathan Harker section. Now, if you've ever read Dracula, that section is the best part of the book. Again, it's done in epistolary format, so it's journal entries, Jonathan Harker's journal. When he gets to the castle, he has the place to himself during the day, because obviously Dracula's sleeping. So he has the whole castle, well, almost the whole castle to himself. He's not allowed to enter certain rooms, but he's got the whole castle to himself. And so he's free to explore. And so that's another mirror of the story here. He's free during the day. He's got the whole place to himself, and he can explore what he wants. And of course, weird shit's going on.
Yeah.
He feels restless and bored, so he goes walking out by the water. He wades out into the middle of it. It's only up to his ankles. And then he starts making those weird signs again with his arms and his face. But this time he feels foolish. So he stops. There's something about it that this, I guess maybe in the bright daylight, he's like, oh, this is kind of dumb. So,
all right, hold on. I have to ask.
Yeah.
How is this just like something you just read and go, okay, and then move on to the next bit? Because what the fuck is he doing? What gestures and what faces is he making, and why is he doing it?
All I can say is that I got the impression that it was just a whim because he's bored. So he's like,
okay.
Yeah, I just feel like just doing something weird or whatever. I just feel like, but also he's in like this weird, isolated place, this
Yeah, he's in this place like time forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was feeling like he was being directed by something.
You could read it that way, of course.
I don't know why. I mean, because I didn't know why. I'm like, why is he doing this? And that's the first thing I thought of. Something must be making him do this. I think he's not himself when he does that.
Right.
I don't know.
I that's not bad. I prefer to read it though as if it's this whim that he has, just kind of influenced by the fact that he's isolated, he's in nature, he's in a strange place, and he's like, I'm just going to revert to my primordial self right now. This is very Lauren Isley, talking about
yeah.
Right. These primal rituals of communing with nature and stuff like that. It's kind of what that reminds you of. So he gets out of the water only to find a leech clinging to his ankle, which he scrapes off with a stone. And now he says, for some reason, he feels as though the woods have become hostile to him. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That is good.
Yeah, you realize, oh, Jesus, what am I doing?
It's a bad feeling.
Yeah, they said about the sea. Like you're on the sea. You're like, man, I'm not in control here. The sea is in control. I'm not in control.
Yeah, I would much rather be lost in the woods than out at sea.
I agree with you.
100 times over.
Yeah. So now he comes across Bowada. She's not looking good. She's pretty dead. Her eyes are wide. She's stretched out. She's astonished looking, he says. And there are flies crawling all over her eyes. She's not blinking. She looks pretty stiff, which is odd because he only saw her a few hours before. And there's foam around her jaws, too. So he takes a stick. He turns the body over with a stick, and he sees that she's got a nasty gaping wound on her side. And the skin is peeled out in these weird triangular flaps. And that's not the creepiest thing about it. He says the wound looks like it was made from the inside. So something escaped.
Yep.
He feels like he ought to go into town and find the Poroths so he can tell them. After all, these cats are their children. But then he feels like it would probably be pretty awkward, him being an outsider and all that, and who's a stranger walking around asking for the Poroths. Or worse, he doesn't want to have to go into some weird-ass church and interrupt some weird-ass ceremony that's going on. So he leaves Bowada there. He says, I'll let Sar find her. Yeah. The Poroths return, and they sit down to dinner, and the cats join them. But there's no Bowada. So Deborah says, oh, she must be full, which rattles Jeremy. He's like, yeah, you don't know how full she was. So Sar says he'll go out looking for her after dinner, and Jeremy offers to help. He says maybe I'll just lead him to the spot where she is. And suddenly they hear a scratching noise, and then the door swings open a crack, and Bowada comes sauntering in. But she's not right. She's got a lumbering gait, almost like somebody learning to walk. And what's more, that gaping wound is now just a hairless red bump on her skin. Jeremy is perplexed, to say the least. He thinks, all right, maybe what he mistook for rigor mortis was probably just some kind of fit or something, but what's with that wound? How the hell did that thing heal like that? So Jeremy says he's not feeling well. He can't continue dinner. He's not lying. And he's about to leave when Deborah is fussing over Bowada, and Bowada is sitting on the floor, but she's staring at Jeremy, and she's boring into him. She's not blinking, just staring. And he says, hey, Sar, look at Bowada. That damn cat's not blinking. And right when he says that, the cat blinks heavily.
That's the great bit right there.
And then what's really cool is the way he caps it. He ends this journal entry with, quote, cold night. Sheets are damp and the blanket itches. Wind from the woods. Ought to feel good in the summer, but doesn't feel like summer. That damned cat didn't blink till I mentioned it. Almost as if it understood me, end quote. That's how the journal entry ends.
That's great.
It's like it was just on his mind. He didn't want to talk about it. But he's like, cold night, sheets are damp and everything. That fucking cat. I can't help but think about it. Didn't blink until I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, June 17th rolls around. This journal entry begins with describing how the cat's wound is completely healed. Jeremy tries to enjoy some sun time. He pets Felix, his favorite of the cats, Felix the cat. He comes away with a tick on his arm. And then so he reads more. He reads green tea. story by J. Sheridan Le Fanu. This is about a phantom monkey with eyes that glow. And he also reads The Familiar, about a little staring man who drives the hero mad. So, June 21st. That's awesome. June 21st.
That's good shit. That's good. Sorry, that was good. 21st is awesome.
I don't say no, I say yesn't.
Yesn't.
All right, June 21st. So, June 21st. Here's the entry for June 21st. So he reads The Uninhabited House by Charlotte Riddle, which according to Wikipedia, I couldn't find anything else about this story, but according to Wikipedia, it deals with a house blighted by supernatural phenomena. Okay, cool. After dinner, he and the Poroths are sitting around the TV watching the news, and Bowata is sitting at his feet. He says, she looks like she's watching with us. At that point, the cat looks up and stares at him. She's like, yeah, whatever. I'm on to you. I got your number.
It's like I heard that, motherfucker.
So it's raining pretty hard right now, and it's hot and humid as hell. It's really damp in his little bungalow. The mildew is creeping up the walls. Occasionally, he thinks he hears thrashing out in the oaks outside. But then, upon closer inspection, as he's listening, the sound just turns into the falling rain. I think he mentioned the mildew before this section. I can't remember, but you have this theme of like mildew creeping in on him and ivy creeping in.
Yeah, everything just closing in on him.
Yeah, this oppressive thing. Nature is just turning against him. It's really cool.
Yep.
So, June 22nd, the rain is finally cleared. Jeremy decides to help the Poroths prepare some molding from one of their rooms. So he's in the woodworking room or whatever. He feels pretty useless, but at least he has some companionship. And then his eyes turn to the outside where he can see Minnie and Felix, their two of the kittens, sunning themselves. When Bowata comes out, she's strutting her stuff out there. She marches up to them and snarls, and the two kittens bolt. He tells the Poroths about it, and they say, yeah, you know, Bowata's always been nasty to the kittens. But Jeremy says, I don't know, you think maybe she's gotten worse? You know? And Deborah says, yeah, she has. She says Butch, the older adult orange male, is particularly afraid of her.
Yeah.
And when he goes back to his rooms, he realizes that his can of insect spray is missing. He suspects one of the Poroths was in here and took it. He doesn't mind them borrowing it, but, you know, like, what the hell? You know, he's kind of going through his stuff. So up to now, it's like nature is turning against him. He's suspecting maybe the Poroths are not turning against him, but kind of not what they seem to be. The cats aren't what they seem to be. Things are just going wrong here. I love this amping up of things, you know? So, June 24th, we get to. Jeremy decides to sleep in because he's had a bad night. He's in the middle of making some literary notes when he hears a noise outside. It sounds like something walking in the woods. He says it's something smaller than a man shuffling through the leaves, and every so often it stops and then thuds as if it's hopping over logs. He shuts the light and he looks out, but he can't see anything, and then the sound recedes into the woods. He figures it might be near the water because he can hear wet sucking sounds like feet walking through mud. And then he can hear the Poroths praying in the farmhouse. He always hears them praying, but this time he could swear it sounds a little louder than usual. So he tries to get some sleep, and then he hears these distant, high-pitched wails and caterwauls. I love that word, by the way, caterwauls.
Yeah.
He hears these wails and caterwauls. He says it's almost a kind of singing. And what's more, he says, quote, in a crazy, tuneless kind of way, the sound seemed to carry the same solemn rhythm as the Poroth's prayers earlier that night. And
bad news.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. He discusses this with Deborah, and she says the sounds of shuffling could be wild dogs, while the high-pitched wails could be an owl or a whippoorwill. Jeremy suspects a wolf. He's heard wolves baying at the moon. He says the sound has the same element of worship that these sounds did, which, yeah, that I love.
That's really good.
Yeah.
The
sound
of worship is really weird way to look at it.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard coyotes going berserk? You hear wolves in movies all the time howling, but have you ever heard like coyotes yipping and yapping and screaming?
No, I haven't actually.
It's fucking chilling.
I was talking to you once on the phone and you like interrupted me like, dude, there's a fucking coyote staring right at me.
Yeah. They're right here in our backyard all the time.
Crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, they run back and forth. You'll be like, there they are. They're right there. But when they get at it at night, when they either catch something or they're having some hierarchy squabble, the sound, it'll make your blood just freeze.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's ugly and scary. It sounds like screaming. It sounds like kids and women screaming.
I can imagine. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
nuts.
Cool. Well, Jeremy looks up in a field guide to wildlife in the area. He can't find any wolves, okay? But on a silly whim, he decides to consult another reference guide, a book called The Glass Harmonica by Barbara Byfield. This is a compendium of like folklore. I looked this book up and it looked so cool that I actually ordered a copy from like a dealer, ABE Books. I don't know if you're familiar with ABE Books, but I ordered a used copy because it's out of print. Mm-hmm. But it looks really cool. It's got like these cool illustrations and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's I'm like, I'll keep you posted on this one. So Jeremy says the entry for June 23rd says St. John's Eve, Sabbaths likely. So it's the Wolf Sabbath. June 23rd. Okay, so now we get to June 25th. Jeremy goes for a walk. And when he returns, he goes to take a shower, but there's a chair propped up against the bathroom door. He doesn't really think about it. He takes the chair away, he opens up the door, and that's when Bowada comes running out. The Poroths explain that she's really vicious to the other cats now. She pounced on Butch pretty bad. So Sar put her into the bathroom. In doing so, he endured a few bites and scratches, but whatever. He said, they put her into the bathroom, but Bowada figured out how to turn this door handle. So that's why he had to put the chair there. So
yeah,
he tells Jeremy they've been praying over the cat because the devil's gotten into her. And Jeremy says, yeah, he really means it. He really means the devil has gotten into Bowada.
Yeah.
So during dinner, they hear a sound coming from the bathroom. Turns out Bowada has now figured out how to nudge the window open. But when they open the door this time, Bowada comes sauntering out peacefully. She curls up, she goes to sleep. Okay. So Jeremy goes back to his rooms, and that's when he finds out that someone's been through his desk. There's also evidence that his journal has been thumbed through. He suspects Deborah. He says she comes in to clean the mildew, and she probably got curious. So from here on, he decides to hide his journal. He says, if it happens again, I'll just move out. So he just decides to go for another walk. He walks by the pool, and he sees something floating in the water. He says, is it a copperhead, a caterpillar? He says, quote, it had somehow opened up, end quote. And that's all he says. He just leaves it there, which is amazing to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I love that, the unspoken stuff. I mean, you just say something, just throw it out there, and you're like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
A caterpillar or copperhead, it had somehow opened up. He had no idea what the hell this thing was, but whatever it was opened up in there.
What's a copperhead?
Oh, a snake.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the opened up part threw me. I know a copperhead snake. I thought it was something.
Oh, I see. Some
shed its skin.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Whatever it is, it opened up.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, the next journal entry we get is July 2nd. Now, we skipped a few days here, so it was June 25th, and now we're on July 2nd. And this journal entry begins, unpleasant day. And that's it. Here's what happens. At 2 a.m., Sar wakes up Jeremy. He has a rifle with him. He explains that Bowada attacked Butch and Minnie and killed them both, and then she just took off, so he's going to need help finding her. So they search, but they can't find her anywhere. But later on, they have a funeral service for the other cats, and that's when Sar quotes Jeremiah, is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? I'm ashamed of myself. I didn't look up the significance of this. I can imagine that it's a lament for misery or pain or grief, saying, is there anything that can heal me right now? That's how I'm thinking about this. I could be wrong, but
that sounds right to me.
Yeah, it could be. Jeremy wonders aloud how the hell Bawada even got into the house to do all that damage. And Sar just says simply, well, she's always been a smart cat. And Jeremy's like, yeah, I'm not buying that. It sounds like an answer that he just gave like just to kind of blow off the question.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeremy returns to his rooms and he finds everything is the way it should be, except for the bed, which is torn to tatters. He's pretty freaked out. Sar is too, so Sar gives him his axe to sleep with.
Jesus.
You might need this, pal, during the night.
It's a little more than a cat now.
Right, exactly. So needless to say, Jeremy has trouble sleeping that night. The journal entry for the next day, July 3rd, Jeremy awakens with Sar's axe cradled in his arms. And he says what awakened him was the fact that he had trouble breathing. His nose was all clogged, the old cat allergies. And before he can make the connection, he notices that in the center of one of the window screens is a huge slash. So there. I think we're going to break it off there for part 1. I think that's a good enough place to break this off. So
yeah, seems good.
I was really impressed by the fact that he's using that allergy as a little telltale sign. He wakes up and he's like, shit, the cat's been here. But he doesn't make the connection until he sees the slash in the window. But what wakes him up is the fact that he's all sniffly.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit, my cat allergies. Oh, and there's a slash in the window.
Yep.
So
that puts the image in your head of a cat leaning over him and staring at him for a while he's sleeping.
Exactly. Well, that's the old myth is that they suck out your breath. They sit on your chest and suck out your breath. We always say that about the cats. We have one that does that all the time. She sits on our chest and just sucks our breath out.
I had a cat that used to do that. But even weirder was like earlier when you were talking about the cat staring at him.
Yeah.
One of the cats that I had, we had 2 black cats.
Okay.
And the little one used to stare at me intently, like just staring right into my eyes, like just looking at me. And I'd be like, she's got to blink soon. She has to. Never.
Yeah.
Never. And I'm like, what the fuck? She's not purring. She's not doing anything. She's looking at me. Her eyes aren't wide. They're like half open, but she's like gazing at me. I'm like, this is getting uncomfortable. What are you looking at?
It's like their intent is to just wear you down.
It's really weird. And so I'd pet her and then she'd start purring a little. And then blink. Yeah. But man, it was weird. It's like, are you going to start speaking in a second? You look like you're about to talk.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's really weird.
Metzenbaum scissors. Get that cat out of here. Yes, sir.
So, all right. So that's part 1 of the events at Poroth Farm. We have a nice little cliffhanger.
For sure.
How'd your beer hold up?
The beer is good. I'm on the 2nd and it's almost gone.
What was it? Psychedelic cat grass or something like that?
It's psychedelic cat grass. Exactly right. Shorts Brewing.
Okay.
Crushed it.
Nice.
Well done.
Yes, well done, Shorts. I'm going to boost Shorts now. Good job, guys. You did it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We really got to praise them for this one. It's good. It's a good title, and it's a pretty damn good beer.
Good. Yeah.
Whatever I said, 7.6, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Or 6.7. Like I said, it's fucking dark in here. I can't read this thing. Anyway, it's good.
Yeah,
it's very good.
Stop fucking around with fruit.
Yeah, just leave that alone. Come on. How was your beer?
Okay, Cats Are People Too by Finback Brewing. Double IPA, beautiful, wonderful beer. So perfect. And, I had said this last time, I'm getting a little tired of IPAs, but, they're always good. I can't help it. I like them.
Yeah, they work.
They work. Absolutely, they do. So especially when you fuck up your beer and you got to dump a whole bunch of hops in there to cover it up.
Cover your tracks.
Right. Oops. Oops, I oxidized it. All right. Well, this was a wonderful story so far.
Yeah, this story's great. And the people listening should get ready for the second half of this. Is pretty fucking great.
The second half really ramps it up and dumps that shit right over your head. It's great.
Yeah, if you're on the fence, because there's a lot of setup here for sure. There's some cool shit going on, but there was a lot of setup.
Absolutely. I agree.
But just be patient.
Yes.
This is very good.
Yeah.
As you can already tell, because some of the shit with the cat staring at him.
Cat staring
that's great.
Him, not blinking.
It's just great. Like, I heard that motherfucker. You expect this cat to start talking.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right. The crickets stopping.
Mm-hmm.
The clock stopping, him making these weird gestures in the woods.
Yeah.
It's like, this is all pointing to something just not good. Something is going to go down here. So very cool. And then, of course, he mentioned like murder and stuff like that. Poison well. What the hell are we talking about? So lots of cool stuff ahead.
There's a lot coming down the line.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really good. So stay tuned, people.
Stay tuned indeed. The next episode is part 2 of the events at Poroth Farm by T.E.D. Klein. Not Ted, but T.E.D.
Right. And that's going to wrap up season 2.
Technically, yes. I kind of divided these things up into seasons, just, I don't know, because it made sense in my head. Yeah, it helps us. It's technically not seasons. I just continued the numbering of the episodes, but I just call it seasons. But,
I like it.
Yeah.
I figured the people should know.
Yeah. So thank you for attending my TED talk.
Good one.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's it.
We're out then. We'll see you next time, my friend.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Be good.